crazy thing about what I just found underneath this paint is
some items you just look at and you think, can you imagine these back in the day? How cool these were. So they are rusty crusty, which is awesome in itself. But every time you touch it, you're going to get rust off of it. The metals, it's... yeah, there's some dust buildup. So my idea is maybe, I don't know if I can fix this bend a little bit. Well, you know, sometimes you go with the perfectly imperfect. I mean, when it comes to old stuff, it's just, there's just that perfectly imperfect that tells the story. I absolutely love these. I think some of them, not that one. I swear somebody had stuff in it. Nope, not that one. Never the one you grab, right? Oh, yes, yes. So we got, I think that's some thyme or rosemary, thyme maybe. This one, I don't know if I can get open. No, that one. Oh, yeah, we got cinnamon. I'm not getting my nose close to... Oh, can I get it open? Because I'd like to wash them. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, we got some stuff. We got some stuff right here. So I just have a bucket of sudsy water. I don't have a sink in my shop. So I'm just going to go ahead and put all those in there. Empty that into the trash and get these washed up. Okay, we're all washed up. They were actually pretty dirty. But it's all about them being spice. But I wish they had words on it. I don't know if back in the day they would have had words on it. I personally probably not what I would keep my spices I would be using. I would just be using it for decor. It's crazy to think that I scrubbed them and it's still coming off. Not that you'll handle them that much, but. So now I'm gonna do some DIYs, little black dress, just where some wording would go. I'm not going to seal it in with anything. We're just going to freshen this up a little bit. After I seal the little black dress in, we'll try to get some patina back on here. But that way I can put some stenciling, some wording on here and be able to see it. And I'm pretty sure one was a replacement. One's a little bit different than the other one, but we're happy to have 6. What do I paint? So I know I want to put like the word spices on here. There again, I'm still trying to keep some of the original patina. And we will be distressing the paint I'm painting on here to not just make it look like I just freshly painted something, that it looked old, but just so it pops a little bit more. I think I do want to clean up the bottom a little bit. Just trying to decide on the lids too, but just because there's so much of something built up down there under, like I don't want to, every time I wipe it, stuff was coming off. So we'll just seal it in. Can I do it? Maybe. Sometimes the item tells you, like, I take a little bitty paintbrush. Can I get in there? Go ahead and help it dry. Nice thing about DIY paint. The metal one, I do share the link in my description for Gardman or for Granite Gold where I get it from. I'm like, I think I need to paint them black. Little letters are probably the worst to have to Cricut out. People will say, you are so lucky you have a Cricut. Yes, yes, they're beyond blessed. But when it comes to small things, it's not always just go to the Cricut, print stuff out, you know, have it cut things out. It sounds good in theory. Let me see if this works better doing the reverse. I don't know. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
where you stick it on the transfer tape and it keeps all those little pieces. I'm going to put it up high so you can see the wording when it's in the case. So I'm going to be using for the lettering some gold paint. This is just a folk art gold. A little out. And I'm just going to use the tip of this brush to just color the letters. I know the vinyl is going to take the tape off or some of the paint off, and that's okay because we weren't looking for this to be a new, we were looking for it to look old. Like the letters have always been there. They probably, maybe there was lettering on them and it just went away. Or it was just a guessing game of what spice was in there. Make sure that it's dry before taking my vinyl off. Like I said, I knew that it was going to take the paint off, but as we just were looking for a cleaner paint job. Traditional way of distressing, but it works. And tape's working just as easy as the transfer tape, just to take some of that off.
Oh, do you all know what you could use these for? Do you? I think this one is newer or they sprayed it. It's a chicken feeder, but they make amazing plate racks. So if I wouldn't use it for my own decor, I'm not going to resell it that way. I'm going to, I walked away from it and then I'm like, you know what? Everybody's always looking for plate racks, especially, you know, plates are very popular again right now. So yeah, I'm like, oh, I better go back and get it. So I like to clean my metals with alcohol because it dries and I know that I'm not leaving like a residue behind or anything like that. So I think the easiest way to paint this up to get it to be beautiful home decor, though it is pretty cool, but it's the legs. It's the legs on it. You could take the legs off, but I think the legs are what makes it stable. So we're going to do some rustoleums in Canyon Green. Okay, time to flip. Oh, I cannot wait to put plates in this, but I'm going to give it a little bit more age. I'm going to take some of the DIY's Decrepit Dust, and we're kind of going to try to add a little bit of rust back to it. So it doesn't look like I just spray painted it, which is what I did. To do that by sealing it in and adding the Decrepit Dust with the Weather Defense plate. The Weather Defense kind of, the metal one dries fast, so if it takes it down, it looks like it wants to take it down to the original metal, that's okay, because then that makes it even look older. Because we did not seal this paint in with anything.
It does make it look. Some people like cinnamon. You can use cinnamon, of course, whatever your age of choice. Like the chickens really used it. Maybe they did. Like I said, I'm thinking it was an older piece, but I don't know. How awesomely cool is this? Though it's that lightweight, what is it, balsam wood? I don't know what the kind of wood it is to have them on. But I am going to take these off to paint it. I'm sure we'll be adding something back on here. I'm always a fan of numbers. So I'm just using a little bit of the Dawes air dry clay, and this is the wood one. They're just little bitty holes, so it won't take very much to fill them. So I'm just going to pick the areas I'm not going to paint, like the back and the bottom. I don't really need to go to town sanding this, but I do feel like where I put the wood filler, I should sand it a little bit. You just take some Dawn dish soap, some warm water, and get it wiped down so that my paint doesn't just soak into the wood. I'm going to prime this because I have the cubbies. I'm going to do it with a couple coats of shellac, using this clear coat as a primer. For our little cubby, we're going to do some Sweet Pickins milk paint, and I'm going to do In a Pickle and Cheshire ratio here. I got to do the inside. Nice thing about it is you can kind of check it out while it's dry and see what it's going to be. Nice summery color. Some areas are not as easy to get inside cubbies, but I feel like it needs to be done. So long-handled fan brush is my friend right now. And a thick paint so that it's not running. Oh, how fun. Fun. I'm going to take my tape off first, though. You need to seal milk paint in with something, and I'm going to go in with Sweet Pickins oil wax, and I'm using the dark, but it settles to the bottom, so make sure that you shake it up before using it. Pour it out on the rag. It looks really dark, but it's really not as dark as you think it's going to be. It's just going to seal in that paint and bring out those crackling and the crazing and make it look all yummy and like it's been like this forever, which is always my goal. Didn't say it was. I have a love of cubbies, but it's always not the easiest to paint them, finish them off. But it's worth, I always feel like it's worth that effort. Now, I believe when I was going through my box of, I've got numbers, I think these were old cigar, like you would have been around a cigar. I've had them forever. So I have a 35, a 30, a 50, and another 35. So I think I'm just going to randomly, there were little holes, so it must have had something to hold it. So I think I'm just going to eyeball. Kind of has that Christmas color going on there, but red and green go well. And then I have these little tacks. Didn't say this was easy. When I first saw this piece, I thought, oh, it's a reproduction, right? Because of the mustard color. But once you start feeling it, and then you see the maker on the bottom and the age on the bottom, it was vintage, yes. And then it got painted inside also. And I don't know what was stored. I don't know what was stored in it. Something. So I am going to take it into a kitchen. I love to stack these. I love to find the vintage ones or create my own vintage ones and do a stack. So I'm going to see what I can sand, what I can buff. I'm not going to be able to get it all off, but I am going to repaint it. Now, the crazy thing about what I just found underneath this paint is this is exactly the wording I was thinking about putting on. Look at what it is. Look at what it is. Cake. It is cake. No way. Oh. Yeah, that paint's on there. So it is what it is. It's just on there. So I'm going to clean it up with some rubbing alcohol. I didn't necessarily plan on painting the inside, but I think I'm going to. I'm going to use Fusion's cast iron that has a primer, paint, and top coat all in one. I just feel like I've got to. I got to do it. Cast iron's nice because it's not, it's not your black. Doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to cover it. Up my milk paint. Well, it's the color that I want. This is Gustavana white. So it's an off-white, not bright white, not, so kind of a cream. Extra bond this because I don't want it to be chippy. So we're just going right in with the paint. And it should stick well to metal. It's a lot less paint. So I'm only going to use half at first and see where we go. With the homestead house, I feel like I need to use a lot less water. So start off with just half your ratio. I don't want it to be terribly runny because I don't want it to be running on my item. But see, half the water seemed to. I'm just going to go ahead and start painting. I paint right up into that little lip. It's going to take a couple coats, but because it's light and we're covering up something that's little bit on the darker side, but we don't want it to run. I know that yummy cake. Ah. I know I've painted over things that weren't trending and important. Bread boxes. The bread boxes. Oh. So I'm just helping it along with the heat gun. Since I didn't put any shellac or extra bond on it, so I can get that second coat on there. My weather defense should be dry now, so now I'm going to go in and sand it. We got lots of texture going on. You just want to smooth down that finish. Sometimes, like milk paint will act like a chalk paint. Like it'll distress really easy if you don't seal it in. So it all depends on the look that you're going for. Okay, we are sanded, so now I'm going to go in with one more coat because I'm going to put a stencil on this, and I don't want it to pull up any of the paint. We weren't looking for this pristine paint job, so we were just looking for age and in with some weather defense. Not the same font as the other one. I like the cursive. And if I'm making a stencil, I like it big old chunky because it's just easier. Season my transfer tape a little bit. If you seal it in well, it sticks pretty good. Not sure if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to take some of that gold that I used earlier, Folk Art, and some decrepit dust. Makeup sponge. Gonna wait to the second coat though, because we're covering. Well, maybe not. Maybe we'll see how it goes. Take some of the decrepit dust with my fingers. Take some more weather defense to seal that in. We got gold and brown. Fun. That's a fun color. That turned out fun. I'm just taking some steel wool because we don't want to feel it. Just to lay it down and distress it a little bit.